I was saying that teaching is the most important job in the world, and I was thinking as I was saying it, no, it's not. I was thinking in the back of my mind, I was thinking, no, it's not. Because my brain was going, what about doctors? Doctors are more important than teachers. Um, I think if you ask the average person, who do they value more? In society, a doctor or a teacher, they value the doctor because the doctor could save their life, right? In essence, the problem the doctors have is the same problem that teachers have, which is doctors can't make any money helping people because doctors only make money when people get sick or ill. Um, the healthcare system only grows as more people become sick or ill. That's why we don't have a healthcare system, but we have a health management system, where we manage to make as many people as sick for as long a time as possible to gain profits for big companies. Oh, not everything is bad, not everyone is bad, but the system has grown in that way. Similar problem with teaching. How successful can you be, really? If you have a student in your class and you help that student to develop their skills to an extremely high level, what happens when they leave your class and go into somebody else's class next year? What advantage is the advantage going to give them? It's not really going to give them much advantage at all because it's one system, it's a universal system. So we can't, our teachers don't have a lot of power to change things, even though they're right in the middle of everything that's going on. Um, you mentioned the if teachers are underpaid. I'm just really I question that. I don't think I think everyone is underpaid. I think that's one of the problems. You can't argue against the fact that teachers are underpaid because everyone is underpaid. It's not just teachers. There's nobody. Oh, I've met one person in my life who said, "I am overpaid for my job. I am paid too much for what I do." It was a teacher who was working for a very special school, and I can't mention a name. They are from this area, though, but they don't work in this country. They work in another country, and they work for a very special school. And their income is around 10 times as high as a Slovak teacher. In fact, it might even be more. It might be 15 to 20 times higher than a Slovak teacher. And that's not important. That's not important. But most people will say they're underpaid because everybody could use more money in one way or another. So the idea that we should feel sorry for teachers because they're underpaid. It's like, okay, well, people in Tesco are underpaid. Should we feel sorry for them? People in factories are underpaid. Should we feel sorry for them? People who work in garages, people who work in libraries, people who work as shop assistants, people who I don't know. It seems to me that the problem is not that teachers are underpaid. The problem is the construct of the system in the area that we live in. You can't you you can't go into the system and then just increase the amount that teachers get paid. It can't be done. And teachers forget where the money comes from. Because teachers are not very forward-thinking people in general. Why are they not very forward-thinking people? They're not very forward-thinking people because they take the job before they look at how much money they'll get. The teacher is not thinking about, oh, where will I be in 5 years or 10 years or 15 years or 20 years? What is the worst case scenario for a teacher in their life? The worst case situation for a teacher in their life is that they'll get married to another teacher. Because then they just won't have enough to live on and they'll work themselves to death trying to survive. Teaching extra lessons and private lessons and maybe taking a second job somewhere. Especially in this part of the world. So I'm very critical of this idea that teachers have a bad situation because they should know what they are getting into before they do it. You know, you don't find a Formula One car driver who gets in the car and says, "Oh, this car's too fast for me." You know, they know what they are expected to do when they take the job. I agree with you that it's terrible the level of pensions for teachers in this country. But that's exactly what I'm saying when I'm saying teachers don't think about the future. They should know that before they start and stop before they start. You know, don't go down the road if you don't know where the road is going. Oh, it could be fun and a bit of an adventure. Yeah, well, but you might also have to live with the consequences of having nothing at the end. And then don't worry or complain about it in the middle. Saying, oh, I thought it would be better, or I thought things would change, or whatever. That doesn't mean anything. The only thing that means anything are facts. It doesn't matter what you thought. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. All that matters is the facts of the situation. It doesn't even matter what you want. All of the people who are going nowhere in their lives are trapped by this idea of looking for what they want. What you want is absolutely not important in life. All that is important is that you do, that you are active. What you want, if you focus only on what you want, nobody who focuses only on what they want ever gets anywhere, because that's not the way the world works. You can't get anywhere focusing on what you want. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. That's a great example. It's a great example, and that's exactly what I mean. That people finish university and they hope. To hope is to be powerless. Like, I hope it's a nice day tomorrow. You're pretty powerless to change the weather. That's a common realistic understanding of hope. But when people apply hope to their lives and say, well, I hope that this will happen. No, the only things that happen are the things that you cause happen or that you make happen. There will be from time to time these beautiful little moments of serendipity, happy accidents, meetings by chance, things that are not planned but work out. But you can't live your life waiting for those to create success. That's not any way to build a future. And it's a common problem that most people are not able to plan their future. As you said, at the age of 25, they finish university, and then what? Then what? What next? What do they do? Where do they go? What experience do they have? For most people, most of their lives has been a plan created by somebody else. They've worked for other people. They've studied in other people's systems. They've used other people's systems. Not all of these systems are negative, not in any way. But holding on to hope is giving away your power. And the greatest power that any person has is understanding that everybody has a choice every day to make things better or make things worse. To be happy or to be sad is a choice. Believe it or not, some people choose to be sad. It's crazy. It sounds crazy. It sounds unbelievable, but some people actually choose to be sad. And that's why you can't help some people, because they've already made that choice within themselves. We always want to help these people, but sometimes we can't, because they've made that choice within themselves. It takes an incredibly powerful and special person to transform people from one state to another state. It is possible, but it's quite rare. So applying this to plans for the future, I think that most people working in big systems don't have big plans for their future. Well, at least not within the system. Take this example. Do you have any dreams for your life? Right. So the point I want to make is exactly what you said. When people have dreams, they usually create the dreams outside of the construct of school and work and the systems that we have to live within. Dreams do not usually relate to paying taxes or getting up early. They can, but they don't usually. Yeah. Dreams are what our heart is fighting with our intellect to manage within our lives. So the crazy thing is that we know that we will only be happy if we are living in harmony with a lot of elements of our dreams. But how much of the plan of the system is going to help with that? How much is school going to help you travel around Southeast Asia? It's a question.